got a delivery. We have some things that aren't rusty. A nice fresh suspension, which is kind of the final piece of the puzzle for putting the subframe back together. Been waiting for these because I didn't want to do it with the old suspension, and they've now arrived. So that's good news. What we have here is some gas coilovers. A few options that people commonly go for with these cars, generally BCs or Meister R's, but I went for these. They're cheaper, they're adjustable with the rebound and compression and stuff. It's hard to find good reviews of coilovers. I find generally reviews that you find on YouTube involve taking it out of the box and be like, oh, that's nice, that's great build quality, I'd recommend this to anyone, and that's it. So without much information to go on, I went for these. People use Gaz in like all the club racing kind of series are all sponsored by Gaz, so they can't be that bad. They've got to do the job for a few track days, so that's good. You get lots of fun graphs and stuff. I don't know which way up you're going to be. Fun graphs of, you know, force displacement for the specific shocks that you've bought, or at least they claim to be, which I don't know what information you would glean from those, but it's makes me feel like a professional race car driver to have that. So we just need to get the top hats off the old suspension, put them on these and build them up, and they will be ready to go onto the car. Right, here's my predicament with this. So on the standard shocks, you get this rubber thing, a metal kind of sleeve that goes in there, then you put this on top, and you've got all of that. Cool, easy. With the new shocks, you get this, which is obviously quite different in size, but okay, fine, maybe it's different. But when you look at the space you have to use this on the new shock, clearly that's not, clearly there's more that needs to go on here. Am I supposed to, if I stack all of these up, move all of this stuff, we don't really have enough room, one of those, and just use this. But if I do that, then I can't really use that sleeve. The sleeve doesn't fit inside this other thing, so I don't know what I'm supposed to do. But I think I'm just going to contact the people who make these and have them tell me what I should do. But apparently it's supposed to be the rubber bushing they provide underneath, and then the top hat, and then all of the standard rubber stuff on top, like that. I've assembled one of these. I'm not completely confident about this whole process, right? This is it compared to the old, hold on. Right, this is it compared to the old suspension, and these are lower in springs of some amount. They didn't lower it that much, but the difference in height between where this is going to sit versus where it sat before seems crazy to me. But we'll see. This is what the manufacturer tells you to do, so I'm going to go through that same process with this one now. If we put it on the car and it's way too low, then we'll think of something else, but I guess it should be right because that's what the manufacturer says to do, so that's what we're gonna do. That took me a little bit of back and forth figuring things out, but they are now built up, and I think they're roughly the same. They're the same height as each other, and set all the settings like compression rebound to the middle, which is what it tells you to do. I'm still a little bit worried these might be too low, but they must make them like this for a reason. I'm sure it won't look so bad when it's on the car. The car's quite high naturally anyway, so we'll be alright. The big day has arrived. This is going to go back in there, hopefully. Time for the moment of truth. Hopefully I take this jack away and the car stays where it is and the subframe stays where it is. Oh, it's tense. Oh boy. There's obviously still quite a lot left to connect back up. But the subframe is in place, which is a nice milestone. Perfect weather for Big Green. Here we are in the luxurious dryness of Big Green, which aside from the floor is actually fairly dry. So putting things back in, got to hook up these nice new braided brake lines, and I've noticed that it doesn't quite stick through far enough here to fit the clip in, so I'm gonna have to thin this out a bit. And for some reason this bracket's bent down. I don't know how that could have happened, because it's not really a very high wear area, but we're going to have to bend that back up somehow and then thin it out with a grinder. I've checked, and the size of the ends of these braided brake lines are the same, well, look the same as the factory one, so I think it's just a bit of damage or rust or something, but we'll just thin that out and then it should fit fine. Better. Hopefully that'll do. Oh. I'd say that's alright. Put the brake line in. And then it's the return of the fan favourite. He's back. Really, it doesn't work at all, so probably wouldn't bother doing that. Let's just spoil the spanner, really. I take it all back. I say that this guy actually is pretty useful. Let's do him just tight enough that it's on there, but not so tight that it's rounded off. That's what we're looking for. Is that possible? Click, that'll do. There we go, that's on. That ain't going nowhere. Next up is to put the suspension back in. I have already done this on the other side, so I should know roughly what I'm doing. It went fairly smoothly on the other side, so hopefully we will replicate that. There you go. That was way easier than the other side. What a dream. Lift it up into place. Pop the bolt in, which is reasonably heavy. Oh wow. Well, I'm so glad I did the practice side. That was a lot smoother. Well, I'm sorry if you tuned in to see this all go wrong, because clearly I'm a professional. So sorry to disappoint. Alright. There we go. As you can see, I've even gone to the immense attention to detail of putting the adjuster for the suspension facing the way that will be accessible rather than having to reach in there. Not that that would be a huge problem, but yeah, I've at least done that. Satisfying sound of rain on Big Green, letting me know that if I didn't have it, I would be getting wet right now. I've been back and watched episode 1, an absolute classic. So It's absolutely ruined, but it's off. In case it falls on me, I'd record it. If this small piece of wood falls out, I'm in trouble. This nut may never move again. Blue socket of salvation. It moves. It's not connected, so. I don't know if I took things apart in the right order, but I'm just going to go in the reverse of the order I did that in. So we're going to do handbrake cable, prop shaft, power plant frame, then the exhaust. And then we're probably getting pretty close to maybe being done at the back. I'm not sure. But we'll see. Some of those tasks might be more difficult than... might be easier said than done. Okay, update. I didn't film it, but I messed up the handbrake. So I was really fighting to get these clips on. I was like yanking the cable, levering the whatever mechanism on the caliper, trying to get this clip in, trying to pull it as hard as I could. Turns out this clip goes on the other side, so I stretched it, you know, quite a lot further than I needed to. I was basically just manually actuating the handbrake with no leverage. Alright, so we'll fix that now. Now that the handbrake is not seized on and I can actually actuate it, that seems quite a lot more successful. What can we see? Nothing. But this little retaining clip goes on the inside rather than the outside, which obviously, where is it? Here. If you look at this picture in the Bible, it tells you that. You join me reattaching the prop shaft. Mere moments after I've blinked for a fraction of a second, so obviously I've lost one of the nuts, which I cannot find anywhere, despite not having moved. But I'm sure it'll turn up. Oh boy. What fun. Why do none of the other bolts line up with that? Okay. Used the second nut and the missing one hasn't shown up. We're going to be in trouble after we use the third one. That is in. Now it's time for the power plant frame. I don't remember which way round this went, but maybe it will be obvious. I think it's this way. I think it's this way. I hope it's this way. But could that be wrong? Could that be wrong? Yes, maybe. That's definitely not right. Maybe if I just smash it into everything, eventually it will work. Mission success. Oh, try not to drop it on myself. Oh, shit. The stud just came out. That's quite annoying. This is the stud that was giving us that problem. It had pushed out the top. So what I did, I just took the nut back off. It was pretty stiff. I cleaned it up with the tap. Tried to hammer the stud in as much as I could, and then just ran this all the way down and tightening up the bolt, pulled the stud in, so that's all good, problem solved. Power plant brace is in. Diff is now secure, prop shaft is done, exhaust is up next. This may be the first part that's going to be a real fight, but It's not actually that bad. I think we're about there. Nice. Well, I thought that was going to be a lot worse. So next up is putting the back box of the exhaust on, which, if you recall, back to episode 1, was the home of the screaming bolts. How can a bolt make this sound? These are the bolts, the nuts and bolts in question. I'm going to clean up the threads on these before putting them back on, and maybe it will be a bit quieter if I just check that I have a suitable tap or die, whichever one it is. Who remembers? 8x1.5, do we think? Do we have one of those? Alright, no, it's not an 8. Not even nearly an 8. Ah, feels good. Feels good to use the right tools. We go from the screaming nut and bolt that didn't want to move anywhere, and now we've got a nice free running one, which should make our life a lot easier. Let's now experience the difference together. What a dream. What a delightful set of bolts these are to put on now. True. As you can tell, that was a wonderful experience. Final piece of the puzzle that we have here is this. I still don't know exactly what it is, and you can't really see. Whoa, it's fallen off now. Nice. So some sort of fuel filter, charcoal filter type thing, I don't know. But the bracket for it sits here and screws into, needs to bolt into this piece here, which is where I repaired. So we need a threaded hole here, which will be accomplished with, I'm excited about this, new tool. I've been looking for a reason to use one of these for a while, rivnut gun. So I can basically put in a rivet which has threads inside it. So we drill a hole, put this in, rivnut gun, this stays there, threaded hole, nice and easy. Good way to put a threaded hole in sheet metal. First up, I'm going to mark roughly where I want to drill the hole for this. Whoa, if I can hold that still. Okay, somewhat strangely, having spent all this time fixing the holes in the car, I'm going to drill one, but let's go. Take a run up. Woo. Don't mind the methods, just worry about the results. Then we take rivnut gun and rivnut, thread that on there, place in there and squeeze. Release. Like so. There we go. Threaded hole like that. There we go, threaded hole in there. Let me hang you back up for the big finale. Oh, you're facing the wrong way. Come on, guys. Stop playing games with me here. That is now held in place. Nice. Great tool. Happy with that. A momentous occasion, because I think I'm ready to put this thing back down on its wheels. This will not be the last time that the back end is raised. I've still got to do a few small things. I've got to fit the anti-roll bar. I've got to do the diff fluid, things like this. But everything's in place, so we can drop it down. Just coming into land. I hope it's not too low. I'm also hoping that all the pieces are attached. not too low. It's on the ground. Okay, it's off. It's off the ramps. Rolling. So I thought it'd be good to just end with a bit of a Trello review. I have been keeping this up to date for myself, but not been showing it. Just to give you an idea of what's left to do and what we've accomplished so far. So there's a whole load of stuff from the rear we can move over. Changing the bushes, doing the undercoat, fitting the new suspension and the subframe, all done. Bleeding the brakes, I have done. Didn't film it, not very exciting to watch. And this leaves these 3 small tasks to do at the back. But this list here at the front is what we're going to be moving on to for the next few episodes. So the big one being fixing up the holes in the inner sill on the driver's side, which I've had a look at and doesn't look too bad, but we'll see how we go. And then any extra holes that we find. Obviously got a full set of poly bushes to fit up the front. Need to figure out how everything comes apart, but I'm sure we'll get there in the end with the Haynes manual's help. Remounting the side skirts and then fitting new suspension, but like we did at the back. So hopefully nothing there is overly difficult, but who knows what we'll run into. And then we're getting closer to doing this list. So getting an MOT, getting an alignment. I'm thinking I will probably just pay someone to do it for the first time because the wheels are not pointing anything like in the right direction, and I would rather just get it done. And then make sure the headlights are aligned, because that was one of the stupid things that the car failed on its first MOT, so that should be easy enough. That's going to wrap it up for this week's episode. Some pretty solid progress, big milestone, getting the car back on the ground. Moving on to the front next week, or in the coming weeks. I'm not sure when the next episode will be, but we're making good progress. Thanks for watching. See you next time.